So you're thinking about moving to Virginia's beautiful mountains and valleys, and more specifically, Crozet, Virginia. Well, in this video, Leslie and I are going to take you on a pros and cons discussion of Crozet and tell you a little bit about what's good about Crozet and maybe what's not so great about Crozet. And if you hang around to the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a really fun fact about Crozet that you might not know about, and you definitely don't want to miss out on that. And we're going to get started right now.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Virginia, from its beautiful mountains to its valleys, then click on that subscribe button and touch that bell icon, and so you can be the first to be notified about all the current market information in Virginia, from its beautiful mountains to its valleys. Hi, my name's Stephen Gleason.
And I'm Leslie Gleason.
And we get phone calls and emails every day from folks just like you who are looking to make a move to Virginia, and we absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So whether you're looking to make a move in 9 days or 90 days, just pick up the phone and give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. That information is all in the description down below, and we'll be happy to help you make your move to Virginia as smooth as possible. Now, as I mentioned earlier, today, Leslie and I are going to take you on a discussion about the pros and cons of Crozet. And overall, Leslie, I'd say Crozet is a fantastic small little town.
It's a quaint town, many historical features along with some modernization.
Yeah, definitely. It's a small town. Actually, it started around the 1870s by Claudius Crozet, obviously named after him, as a little railroad stop, whistle stop town. And the particular town has grown over the years. As a matter of fact, today, like Leslie said, it has a lot of newer housing in it. It makes it very desirable for folks to move there. And one of the things about it, though, as far as its first pro is concerned, I would say is its location. Beautiful location. If you love getting up every morning, opening your windows, and having an opportunity to have a look at the Blue Ridge Mountains in your backyard, you're going to love living in Crozet. That's where it sits, right at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and of course it's very conveniently located as well. You're only about 20-25 minutes right from downtown Charlottesville, which has a lot of the shopping and things that you need there as well. And to get there, you're only about 5-10 minutes away from Interstate 64 to get to Charlottesville, or to go west over into the Shenandoah Valley as well. Another neat thing about it, although there's not a major airport right near Crozet, like you would find for discount air carriers like Southwest and Spirit, carriers like that, you'd have to go to Northern Virginia, which is about 2.5 hours away, or Richmond, which is about an hour and a half away, or an hour and 15 minutes away to the airport there. However, in Charlottesville, you have the Charlottesville-Albemarle Airport, and they have American, Delta, and United are three major airline carriers that they have there. So really, you're only about 25 minutes away from flying out to anywhere you need to go in the United States.
Another pro about living in Crozet is the homeownership rate. The national average is around 64%, and Crozet has about a 77.1% homeownership rate. So high rate of ownership in that area. There's also a lot of people who love where they live. It's very evident that they enjoy it. Some of the people in that neighborhood, they block off the alleyway behind their houses, and they all get together and have barbecues and let their kids play together. Another feature is it's kind of like stepping back 50 years, really, in some ways, when it comes to there are a lot of kids in the neighborhood there, and they know each other. The neighbors know each other. They look after each other without really getting involved in all of their business. But they look after each other's kids, and they can go over to each other's houses, and they know that when it's time to come home, they come home. And so there's a great sense of community in Crozet.
Another really neat pro about living in Crozet is the fact that it's a community that's growing very quickly. And as a result, there's a lot of new home building that's going on in that particular neighborhood. As a matter of fact, talking about the growth, Crozet in the 2010 census had 5,565 people. In the 2020 census, just 10 years later, almost doubled. It's up to 9,200 now, over 9,200 people. And so with that demand for people moving into the neighborhood, there's a demand for houses. And a lot of those homes are newer homes. And can honestly say that many of the homes that are being built in that community, many of the builders in that community are very solid builders. They're building a well-crafted product, and so a solid product. And so when you move in, you're pretty well guaranteed that the home you're going to move into has been built, been well built. Exactly. Of course, with growth going to come more businesses, more things like that, and we are seeing more things move into Crozet like that. There's still, it's still a small town, and so it's not like being in Charlottesville where you have hundreds of restaurants, but there are a few restaurants around town, a few little shops. Of course, a lot of the properties and a lot of the communities in the area are HOA properties. And those HOA properties being that way, you have everything taken care of for you. And if you're looking for that, you can do that. And there's other properties that you don't, and so it just depends upon what neighborhood you're in, or even within some neighborhoods, you have that option. And so that's kind of a neat feature depending on what you're looking for. I think one of the neat things about Crozet, though, because of the quality of the properties, is you're going to find a lot more luxury properties in the Crozet area. Larger houses, of course, they're going to cost you more, but if that's what you're looking for, those options are really available in the Crozet area. One other thing I always like to talk about is the fact that Crozet, as it's being built, though, they haven't just forgotten about the future. They've really incorporated that. As a matter of fact, you can see here on the slide that as far as high-speed internet, that's always a big question that we get. And this particular slide here just shows the high-speed internet of at least 250 megabytes per second download speed and 25 upload. Now, there are more than that, and you can see here on the chart that there's more than that, but you can see the area right here around Crozet in the dark blue is pretty much, very well covered by at least that speed of internet. Of course, there's also speeds of 1,000 megabyte download as well, and Comcast is pretty much the #1 carrier in the area, and the local brand here is Xfinity, right? So there's another company that's coming in as well, that's Loomis, and they're a fiber optic company. They're coming in Crozet, in the Shenandoah Valley, Charlottesville, all over the place. Of course, as a fiber optic company, they have incredibly high speed. Right now, there's a little dispute about how high their speed actually is, but it's certainly going to be well over probably 1,000 megabytes per second. Yeah, exactly. So, but like I say, those options are definitely in town and in the town of Crozet. So as you move out into the countryside, you may have to go into different options there, which may not be quite as high speed, but most of the area, again, like I say, that you're going to be in is going to have at least 250 megabytes, if not more than that, because Xfinity covers a pretty large area.
And we're seeing fiber optics come into more of the rural areas, but ask us if it's there. We can definitely
find out. Exactly right. So
another pro about living in Crozet is the amount of recreation. Let's start in the center of town with Crozet Park. In it is, you can look at the map video for more information about this, but there are athletic fields and swimming and fishing and a dog park and so many more things there. There's also many neighborhood trails. So each neighborhood has a trail, and they're trying to connect those throughout Crozet. They're working on doing that, but each neighborhood has some little mini trails that are involved in it. Let's talk about golf courses.
Hey, let's talk about golf courses. Old Trail, great golf course, championship style course, and just a great place to play. All's always your fairway, so you never get a bad lie.
Let's talk about the Appalachian Trail.
If you're in fairway.
Oh my goodness. All right. Can we talk about something else?
Let's talk about that.
All right. About the Appalachian Trail. It's only about 20 minutes west to get on it is about 20 minutes west from the center of Crozet. And the Albemarle County parks that are available in and around Crozet. Let's talk about Mint Springs Park. It's only a few minutes from downtown Crozet. It has swimming and hiking and fishing and picnic area there as well. It's a very pretty park. You have nice views there. Let's talk about let's see if I can get this right. It's a real long name. It's Patricia Ann Byron Forest Preserve Park. Did I get it?
You got it.
Okay, so that park has some picnic shelters, some trails, and some hiking. The trails include horseback riding, which is a former horseback rider. That's intriguing and really nice. So there's also, if you are a mountain biker, there are some mountain biking trails there in that park as well, which is a huge hit among those who enjoy biking.
No doubt, no doubt. And of course, we've got 2 ski resorts as well. Massanutten, about an hour north, which is a 4-season resort, as is Wintergreen, about 45 minutes to the south. All have events and activities for all 4 seasons. One of the big hits up at Massanutten as well is, in addition to 2 golf courses at both places, the big hit up at Massanutten is the indoor water park, which a lot of the families and kids love. They love to go there and do that. So as far as schools go, according to niche.com, Albemarle County Schools, of which Crozet is part of, is the 11th best school district in the entire state of Virginia.
They get some high ratings.
They really do. And as a matter of fact, in the town of Crozet, there's basically 4 schools that would serve your children if you went to a public school there. The first 2, Crozet and Brownsville Elementary Schools. And then when your child grows to be in the middle school age, they would actually go to Henley Middle School. And Henley is the best public middle school in the entire Albemarle County. And that's pretty good. And it's a school that the kids move into next, the high school, Western Albemarle, that is also the best rated public high school in all of Albemarle County. So you have not only a school district that's in the top part of the top almost 10, they're certainly in the top 10% because there's about 131 districts in Virginia, but the top, so you're in the top 10% of all schools in Virginia, and then your high school and your junior high, according to niche.com, ranks as the top 1 in that particular county. So no doubt that's one reason why a lot of folks like to move into Crozet and into the Western Albemarle school district there. And of course, in addition to the schools being ranked very highly in the K through 12 area, there's also UVA about 20 minutes away. And as you can see here, UVA is according to a report by U.S. News and World Report, they were the number 3 top public school in the country, and then the number 25 school in national universities as well. And you can also see they're very friendly to veterans. They do a great job there with that. And also, they are, as far as in-state tuition goes, all of college is very expensive nowadays, but in-state tuition at a little over $21,000 is actually definitely more affordable of a lot of the colleges across the country. And so if you live in state, you have the opportunity then, even if you're picking up a couple classes, night classes or whatever, you just drive 20 minutes and you have that.
What's the average enrollment of UVA?
About 18,000 is the enrollment of UVA, and it's just, a really solid university, of course, founded by Thomas Jefferson. And
it's a beautiful campus too.
It sure is.
And they have a beautiful golf course.
Well,
so, Stephen, that's a lot of pros that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is a lot of pros. And of course, if you have a lot of pros like that, often they're going to come with a price. Okay. And that's probably one of the biggest cons of living in Crozet is the cost of living, right? And if you look here, you can see that overall the cost of living is about 4% higher when compared to the rest of the United States, and that's not a whole lot. But you look at housing, and housing tends to get a little more expensive,
about 10%.
About 10% higher, and so. It now depends on where you're coming from. For example, if you're coming from Newark, New Jersey,
right, you
can see here on the slide here in Newark that the cost of living in Newark is much higher than it is in Crozet, and the cost of a home in Newark is about 30% more than what you're going to pay in Crozet.
So you would say it's kind of all relative based upon where you're moving from?
Of course, like always, it's relative on that. For example, if you're moving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, if you don't want to be in the snow anymore, right? But If you're moving to from Minneapolis, you're going to see the cost of living is about the same, and the cost of housing is about 12% higher in Crozet than it is in Minneapolis. So again, it just depends on what your basic cost of living is where you're at right now, how that's going to be affected. But as far as the overall area goes, it is a little bit higher than the rest of the United States, and it's a little bit higher than the rest of the surrounding area around it as well here in Virginia.
You know, we're on a con streak, so all right, let's talk about one more. Shopping. All
You're
right.
so negative.
I know, I'm so negative. I'm so being so negative. So there's a lack of privately owned stores in Crozet. Crozet is, you know, there's some small businesses downtown. Coffee shop was great.
Yeah.
It's
fun. It's fun to go to them.
Two locally
Yeah.
owned places. There's the pharmacy and the hardware store that's downtown that are locally owned, but you're not going to have a lot of variety of places to go.
Well, there's just not a whole lot of stores downtown because you only got a town of 9,000 people. You get 9,000 people, but of course, as things continue to grow,
Right.
you're going to see it grow.
I think you're going to see that
Yeah.
expand. There is also a lack of brand stores.
Yeah. Small
you know,
town.
Small town again. But the perk is that you have Charlottesville
Yeah.
that's within, you know, not so far away.
Yeah.
It's within 20 minutes at the most of downtown Crozet.
Yeah. And if you need groceries, there's a little grocery store in town. There's the Crozet Market right in the downtown area. And there's a Harris Teeter just that's outside of Crozet, about 5 minutes literally
away
from the downtown. So as far as the basic needs like that, you have everything that you need right there in that particular area. But like I say, like Leslie said, overall, you know, there's just not a whole lot of shopping like if you were to go into some other smaller towns. And of course, it's a town that's really in transition and growing. So let's talk about one final thing, and we can put this one right in the middle, because this one really depends upon you and where you're coming from, and that is the climate.
It is.
Okay, so I would consider it a pro, others might consider it a con. Like I say, depending on where you're coming from. As far as it goes, bestplaces.net rates Crozet as having an 8.3 out of 10 summer climate and a 5.9 out of 10 winter climate. So let's start out by talking about the general area. Of course, one of the things why I consider it a pro, and I'm sure Leslie does too, is because of the beautiful views you have in the fall, beautiful views you have throughout the year, when the spring, when the blossoms are coming on trees and things like that. It's just an amazing place to be.
Surrounded by orchards.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
It really is. It really is. And so it's at the same time though, okay, the climate in the summertime is about average with the rest of the United States. Of course, there's a big range in the United States, but it's about average, and it's about average with Virginia as well. As far as the winter goes, it's actually a few degrees warmer in Crozet than most of the United States. So to kind of give you an idea of that, you can look here and you can see the amount of days during the year where the temperature is over 90. I think we all agree once the temperature starts hitting 90, it starts getting pretty hot outside.
Combine that with the humidity.
Combine that with humidity sometimes, exactly. But so if you look in Crozet, about 21 days a year, that's about the average in the United States of being over 90 degrees. So you're gonna have about 3 weeks every year of time where the temperature is over 90 degrees. So the other thing though is in the wintertime.
They'll say they like it cooler.
Yeah, if you like it cooler, then you got the wintertime, but the wintertime isn't cold. As you can see here, the Crozet only gets about 14.5 inches of snow a year. On average, the United States gets about 28, so it's about half of what the United States actually gets. And the amount of snow that stays on the ground for over a few days, that's over an inch, is only about 10 days a year. And so if you like being in a place where you get some snow, you can enjoy the snowfall, you can see it come down, you enjoy that, but then it's gone within a few days usually, you know, Crozet is a great place for that.
And if you want more snow, you just go higher in the elevation around here. You can go up to Massanet, and then you can go up to Wintergreen if you want more snow.
That's
so
exactly
it's cooler,
right.
and the snow sticking around longer.
That's exactly right, exactly right. So at the beginning of the video, I told you that I would share with you a fun fact about Crozet that a lot of people don't know about. Maybe even some of the people in Crozet, unless maybe they've lived there, you know, for quite a few years. But here it is. So you know that Crozet has had 14 films or musical type films, video films, or films done in the Crozet area. Here they are ranked according to IMDb in their order of popularity from least important to most important. Some of them are very short, like short clips, but there's one, you can see I saved it here till the last, there's one that probably most of you are going to know.
It's
And
more recent.
more recent, and here it is. It is Evan Almighty. Was filmed in Crozet in 2007. As a matter of fact,
Did not know that.
that's where they built the Ark.
Yeah.
They built the Ark on an empty lot there, and it was taken up and put up and taken down,
Yeah.
all in Crozet. So some of Evan Almighty was filmed in Charlottesville, Waynesboro, Stanton as well. So kind of regional in the area, but the Ark itself was in Crozet. As a matter of fact, it was in one of the neighborhoods that we talked about on our vlog video. It was in the Old Trail neighborhood. And so just kind of an interesting fact about Crozet. And maybe if you watch that movie, maybe you'll look and maybe you'll see something that looks familiar.
You watch it, you go, oh, I know who that is.
That's right, exactly right. So I think Leslie and I would both agree that Crozet gets definitely 2 thumbs up, like Cisco and Eager used to say.
No. That beats us.
Well, maybe it is, but I think they still get 2 thumbs up. And so, it really is a neat community. It's a very well cared for community. The people in the community are really proud of their community. There's very much of a tight knit sense of community there, and there's a lot of positives going for Crozet. And so like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're interested in Crozet, or maybe you're not interested in Crozet, maybe you're interested in another area here in the Shenandoah Valley or in the Blue Ridge Mountains or Charlottesville or any of the counties that are around the area here, or maybe you're local and need more information, we'd be happy to help you. Just pick up the phone and give us a call, shoot us that email, send us a text, and we'll be happy to get you all the information you need to know before you make a move into Virginia.
Or looking to sell from Crozet.
Or if you're looking to sell from,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. We'd be happy. We've done that before, and we'd be happy to help you out. So, like I say, until next time, we'll see you around town.